And it's brought to us by Buckeye State Credit Union. If you never heard of Buckeye State Credit Union, meet your new favorite financial partner. Buckeye State Credit Union is a local institution offering everything from checking accounts to home equity lines of credit and auto loans with some of the lowest rates in Northeast Ohio. Their Cleveland branch is in Shaker Heights, which is one of their 5 locations across the state, making it easy to find one near you. If you can't get to a branch, no problem. They make banking simple with digital banking. What sets them apart? They make banking personal and convenient. At Buckeye, their focus is you. Their core values: connect, simplify, and adapt guide everything they do, bringing people together, cutting through the clutter, and they're innovative. To learn more, visit buckeyecu.org. Buckeye State Credit Union, your money simplified. Jay, Jason, and G. Bush. They say giant if. I understand the question I'm asking includes a giant if.
It is a giant if.
But if Dawand Jones can stay healthy, and all reports indicate he's in terrific shape. Jason, you were out at camp the last 2 weeks. You said he looks great. Down 20 pounds is what he told reporters. If Dawand Jones can stay healthy, what's his ceiling at left tackle? Jason, you want to kick us off on that?
Ceiling at left tackle is he just solved the Browns' problems for the next 15 years and will probably make a couple Pro Bowls along the way. Like, I think he's that good. The question with Dawand Jones was never about talent. It was always about health and weight. Can he keep the weight off? Can he keep it at a manageable number? And can he stay healthy? Because human beings are not supposed to be as big as this man is. So you worry about joints. You worry about knees and ankles, obviously feet, stuff like that. So if they can keep that weight under control, obviously keep the weight down, take some of the pressure off the joints, and he can stay healthy, he can be the Browns' left tackle for the next 10 years. There's no question in my mind. It's just those are giant ifs. But I mean, he needs to get better in run blocking. Okay, fine, he can. If he can handle the weight part, he can get better at run blocking. Like the weight for me, I believe the weight is harder for him than improving as a football player. His pass protection is excellent. I don't think there's any question about that. And so it's all the tools are there to be a really, really, really good left tackle in this league for a long time. And we've talked about the problems that this team has had drafting with this current regime. If you turn a 4th-round pick into your franchise left tackle for the next 10 years, that covers a lot of the other blemishes that they've had. But these are giant ifs that we're talking about.
Man. If you get Dawand Jones and he's the deal, he's the guy that is going to anchor your line at left tackle, I think he's the key to the rest of the line. Once you have the left tackle, everything else is downhill from there. You'll find other guys to plug and play. And I actually think if Dawand Jones plays at an all-pro level, and I think he has that capability of playing at an all-pro level, I think the Browns have a shot at finding. I think he's the most important player to finding out if these quarterbacks can play.
Yes.
One of the most difficult things to do is...
Especially Shedeur
Sanders. You got Dylan Gabriel, who's already small in stature, or Kenny Pickett, or any of these guys.
But Shedeur likes to hold on to it.
He keeps that football. If you're going to get a good evaluation of who's the best quarterback, you need a good run game. You need a good pass protector at left tackle, and you need the offensive line to gel and play a lot of games together. When you look at the Browns, when they were rolling a couple of years ago, they knew who were, even when they had Jed Wills, they knew Jed was a little bit of a weakling, but at the end of the day, they still, when they played games together consistently throughout the time period, they were a really good offensive line as a group.
Bill Callahan.
And if you get Dawand Jones to be able to keep that weight off, it'll be wonders for his joints. He'll have more flexibility in his ankles. He'll be able to bend more. He'll be able to deal with some of these speed rushers. And I think Dawand Jones can get you, I'm going to say it, 2 to 3 more wins than you would have gotten, because last year it was just, do you remember how in the first part of the season it was just sack after sack after sack after holding after pre-snap stuff. It was just nasty. But I think I'm encouraged because he came back in tremendous shape. He looks like he's down at least 40 pounds.
See, I was surprised to hear only 20.
Yeah, I think that's not accurate.
Because
I think it's more than that.
He looks...
I told you guys I saw him at the Sports Awards in February. And I literally, he was in the same box as I was, so I was standing right next to him, and we had a conversation, and I was like, what happened? He's like, man, I've been working hard. I feel good. And I would have guessed at that time 50 pounds. Now, he was in street clothes, and he was in a suit that was it was obviously cut for him, but he looked great. Like way more than 20.
I do think he shed some weight after he ballooned to his highest point last year. I do think he shed some weight, so I don't know what he's using as his starting point.
Right, yeah. I wonder if it's from his highest. I think he's down
from
more
his
than
highest.
20.
He's down way more than.
I agree with that.
It looked like it was painful for him to walk sometimes. Like,
he couldn't move.
He was immobile. He couldn't move.
And obviously you build up a tolerance for it, but for someone who's 200 pounds, if I throw a 200-pound lead weight vest on, I'm done after one day. You're going to have to hospitalize me. My knees are going to blow out. My ankles are going to blow out. My hips are going to be gone. And I know his frame is big and sturdy and is better off to handling it. But if you're used to 330 and now you're 400, that's like a small child on your back. You're not going to be at your best. To answer the question, I agree with you. And I said I'm going to get a lot of shit when I say this. But I'm going to say his high end is an all-pro. And I believe that. And I believe that because he is that physically imposing. He looks like all of the great offensive linemen. Pace. Like Joe wasn't that big and imposing. But Joe did other things so much better. But when you think of the Walter Jones, like when you think of the guys that just are so big you can't get around them.
When he puts a paw on you, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do against
like
that?
Ogden and Jonathan Ogden, and then you had the Orlando Paces.
He's Orlando Pace big. He's probably bigger than Orlando was.
Go look at some of the Brian Baldinger breakdowns from his rookie year in pass protection.
Yeah, he loves them.
When he gets his hands on you, it's
a wrap.
It's over.
Good night.
So like early on in his rookie year, I know G and I were going back and forth, and my whole thing was never about his talent. It was always the off-field stuff.
Yeah.
And if if he can have great success this year, and he can see, because I've mentioned this before. I think Zach Jackson made a great point. Dawand's been here most of the offseason because he's been rehabbing. So the concern with Dawand is when he's off on his own,
out of the building. Yeah.
But I think for this year, I think you're over the hump. It's June. I don't think he's going to come back at late July and be 30 pounds heavier.
Right.
I think he's got momentum going. I think he feels really good. He hears people telling him how good he looks.
Right.
So now the question will become next offseason if he has a healthy year, and now he's gone from January to May. What's he going to look like when he comes back? But hopefully he's built up enough good habits.
Does he strike
you? They have a
you
new nutrition program. I think that's key with him.
Sure. Does he strike you as a guy that loves the sport, though? That's my concern.
I don't know him well enough.
I don't either. That's why I was asking you.
Yeah, I don't know.
My concern about a guy like that is, does he love this enough?
That's why I wonder if Jed Wills will ever play another game.
I don't think he will. I think we've seen the end of him.
I think he's really big, strong, happens to be talented at football, and he's already made a lot of money doing it.
He's fine for the rest of his life.
For him to come back from this, you got to love it. And we'll find out if he loves it or not. I question if he loves it.
You mentioned getting a taste of it. Like, what I hope for him is that in week 6 and 7, everybody's saying this guy's having a Pro Bowl type year. That is intoxicating.
Yes.
That can turn a love for a sport into an infatuation with a sport and a career. Because who doesn't want positive reaffirmation? Bro, you're one of the best to ever do it. Well, that will drive future success.
And that contract will look
that's it.
That's the big one.
He hasn't made his money yet.
Not yet.
That contract that he going to get, like if he has all-pro year, he going to write a blank check. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. That's a premium position.
Yeah.
They got him in the 4th round. I mean, they're going to, especially like you said, Andrew Berry is going to be signing him immediately. Like, hey, you can say what you want. I did miss on Jed Wills, but I found this guy. And this guy is a monster. So, yeah, that's
got to stay healthy.
Got to stay healthy.
But I think the weight and the injury goes hand in hand. When you're playing with a small child on your back, you're going to get hurt. You're carrying more weight than your joints are meant to carry. And
I know it's a different sport, but I go back to Zadrunas and all the foot problems he had early in his career, and it looked like he was never going to turn into anything because, again, human beings aren't built to be 7 feet tall.
No.
And then he had the foot procedure where he had the bones fused. I don't remember all the details now. I'd have to go back and look. And it saved his career. It changed his career.
Yeah.
And he wound up where he did in Cavs history.
I want to ask you a question that I don't know that you've had a conversation with, but I'm waiting, and if someone's written it, I've missed it. I'm waiting for someone to do the following story. The weight loss drugs in society
Yeah.
I've talked to doctors about this. They said that they didn't think they would see something in their lifetimes. Now, the one doctor that said this was in his late 60s. He said, I didn't think I'd see this in my lifetime. I always said, whoever develops this magic pill is going to build an empire that no one has ever seen before. Mounjaro, I think is the name of one. Ozempic. There are a handful. There are a handful of them. I personally know people that are on them that I don't recognize.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? And they're honest. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people say, oh, I'm working out. I'm eating a lot of green stuff. No, you're not, bro. I just had lunch with you yesterday.
You had 6 hamburgers.
So what I'm wondering is if we've seen that it's had this impact on society.
Yeah.
My guess is that it's infiltrated professional sports too. And I wonder if we know any names, if there's any numbers, if there's any studies that's been done yet. Because the one commercial, I think it's Mounjaro. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Mounjaro.
Mm-hmm.
They advertise that it's not uncommon for people to lose 48 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you take a guy whose BMI is as high as his is, and you put him on an Ozempic or a Mounjaro or something like that, and he drops 60 or 70 pounds. I mean, that is life-altering, and it's career-altering, too. And I just wonder...
Is it banned?
I don't think it's banned.
I don't think it's banned.
No, I don't
know.
think so.
It is legal. It's not like
it's
an anti-banned substance. It's not in the drug list. You can,
That's wild. I would think, like, if we were
there
in a sport like wrestling.
there are legal drugs that are banned, though.
Oh, sure.
It's not... That's
Yeah.
not...
No. There are. I'm saying this is not.
But this is not illegal. It's prescribed. And the amazing thing about this drug, particularly Ozempic, I read a study that was recently done on Ozempic. And obviously, there are a million unintended benefits of this. The reason people are taking, for the most part, it started to help people with diabetes and help them get that under control.
Yeah.
And it works. But what I've read, study after study after study, and there was just a big one done in the UK that I read that was published that was amazing to me, where they talked about, a large study, where they talked about, okay, not only is this drug working, and not only is this drug bringing the A1C and all of that stuff in line and the weight loss, but their risk of heart disease, and which is the number one killer.
Yep.
The risk of heart disease plummets 83%.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, of course it does. You're not carrying all of that fat on your body. So, like, I'm wondering, are we getting to a point where this is just part of sports too?
It might be.
Where guys that struggle with it get it under control with this.
My doctor's at the Cleveland Clinic, and I had a conversation with him in the fall about, and he said Ozempic is going to be a wonder drug. He believes this is a clinic doctor.
Yeah.
Said Ozempic.
Well, the
will be
doctor I talked to was also a clinic doctor.
Yeah, because of what you're talking about, the heart benefits. They're finding all these different things. Ozempic's been around forever.
It has.
As a diabetic drug, and now they're finding all of these other benefits of it that.
And it's becoming affordable. I think a couple of years ago when it
like
first hit the market,
1,000.
it was like $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
And that's going to take out 90% of Americans.
Sure.
And then Oprah kind of put her foot in her mouth. She was using it, and she mentioned she was using it, and this is while she owns Weight Watchers. And so everybody Weight Watchers is gone, by the way. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
What?
Gonzo, done. They're out of business. They're transitioning to a weight. They're going to be like life coaches on how to manage weight. Here's what they're going to tell you. Yeah, go down to your doctor and get some Ozempic. But when she said that, I look great. I lost all this weight. I'm keeping it off. Ozempic, way to go. All of Weight Watchers' clients that were spending a lot of money every month to get her meals said, wait a minute, Oprah. You're selling me this, but you're using that, and it's working.
Yep.
And that was probably the worst thing for her business. But, it's changing the world, and I think it's going to save guys' careers that are in that offensive line category, maybe even defensive line category that can't lose the weight. And I'm wondering who will be the first pro athlete to get an endorsement with Ozempic.
Well, I think Charles Barkley got one, but
he's not playing.
He's not playing.
No, I want to see the guy that's playing that comes out and says, I was 400 last year and couldn't stay healthy, and this year I'm 330 and I'm a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be.
Which I did.
And I don't even know. I shouldn't even be suggesting that he's using it. I'm just
did.
wondering, is someone using it?
Yeah.
What y'all didn't know is when LeBron came back in 14, he already had the Ozempic.
He had something else.
Remember LeBron was 205 for like a hot second? And then he
Oh,
ran.
did he get big when he was in high school?
No, he was small. Like when he came back from the Heat in 2014, he pulled up.
Oh,
went
I
on
see
a
what
crazy-
you're saying.
and
Okay.
I was like,
crazy diet.
I was like,
yeah.
he was getting.
he
was
stopped eating pancakes. I remember a thing about he missed pancakes, and he did cut a lot of weight.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I
he
thought
was
you were
doing.
talking about, and I don't know why.
No.
Yeah.
Well, either
Went
way, we're hoping Dawand stays healthy. Jay, I agree with you. If he's healthy, he's got all pro caliber potential. So
Yeah.
for the Browns, for Dawand, great progress, and we hope you stay healthy and have a successful 2025 year.